This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
We're Dean Smith and Daughters at Oakham Market.
Okay, so has the lettuce and courgette sort of crisis affected you at all?
Well, it has in a way. It's still available. You know, I can get the stuff. The high quality stuff has gone up quite a lot. Good iceberg lettuce from Spain is costing £1.50 each to buy in, and courgettes have actually come down from £23-26 a box to about £15 a box. We're about value for money. We try and get a good quality item, you know, and resell it at the right price. But it's all available, it's there. The crisis is only in Spain because of the floods they had and then the snow on top of it. It's available from other countries, it's just that England relies on Spain for the courgettes, for the lettuce. And if Brexit goes through, we have to look at, is this the way it's going to be forever?
Have the supermarkets affected you not being able to get lettuces and courgette?
Well, the supermarkets, they cause the problem, half of the problem anyway. They stock it in, they store it. I mean, they've been selling iceberg lettuces for 45 pence for the last few weeks, but the lettuces haven't been there. So they've been selling it for less than cost, and they've helped cause this crisis by stocking their fridges and selling it cheaper than what it came in at.
Rutland Radio.
Hello.
Hi, Chloe. First of all, congratulations on getting the part of Annie in Sam's production in the summer. That must be an amazing thing for you to do.
Yes, I'm super excited about it.
And obviously, you know, you've got a lot of practice with that, but you write songs and sing in your spare time, and you've got some songs to record this weekend. Tell us about this.
I'm going to be doing a cover album of one of my songs and 3 of Adele and Brandi Carlile's songs for a new CD of mine.
Now, tell us about Brandi Carlile, because a lot of people around Stamford and Rutland probably haven't heard of her, but over in the States, she's a really big name, isn't she?
Yeah, she's the most famous American singer. She's a country singer. She's super cool. She called me a couple times as well, which is pretty awesome.
That is quite amazing. I don't know how on earth that happens, but am I right in saying that Brandi wanted Adele to sing on her album, she couldn't get hold of her, somehow you managed to actually put something out there on social media that Adele's people picked up on?
Yeah, me and my dad sat down one night and made a little song to put on YouTube, and it went viral for her whole night. In like 10 seconds it had 100 views. So it reached one of Adele's managers, and he passed it on to her.
So tell us about what you're doing this weekend. You're going into a studio in Peterborough to record 4 songs for the charity War Child.
Yeah, and I'm going at about 3:45 to 5 to record some songs. I need a few musicians for this. A really good cello player, a really good drummer, a violinist, a pianist, maybe a bass player and a guitarist as well. If they can learn by Sunday, they can maybe come to the studio with me, because it's quite serious.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking for young people around your sort of age to play on the songs with you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
You know, what sort of age are you looking for? Like teenage rock bands, that kind of thing?
I'm looking for talented, maybe some teenagers, because not many 11-year-olds can play the cello. But that would be great if they could and stuff.
So tell us about
helping kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing charity War Child, isn't it? Just remind us of the different players that you need for this.
A good cello player, a really good drummer and violinist, a pianist, and maybe a bass player and a guitarist.
And if anyone would like to help you with this on Sunday or learn the music before then, how do they get in touch with you? How's best?
Just go to Chloe Lawrenson Music on Facebook.
Okay, and your mum and dad look at that as well, obviously, so they'll know what's happening. So Chloe Lawrenson Music on Facebook, or indeed they can get in touch with us here at Rutland Radio, and we'll try and connect you with a few young, talented musicians for Sunday. How long you been over here, by the way? Because obviously you haven't got a Stamford accent yet, have you?
No, I think 3 years now.
Fab, thanks for being on this morning.
Thank you.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
My name's Jamie, and I go to St Mary's in St John.
My name's Maya, and I go to St Mary in St John as well.
So tell us about Safer Internet Day and what you've learned today so far.
So we've learnt that we can't share our personal information online because if we share pictures on our profiles that we don't want people to see, it could affect our future.
And do you find the idea of the internet quite scary? I mean, you've grown up with it, haven't you?
It's quite a usual thing, like you go on Google, there's obviously social media, and it's quite scary because we watched a few videos and it's like quite scary what can happen if you let like a stranger or someone you don't know into your account or like let them follow you. Then it's scary what they can do because there's some hackers and they can like find out where you live, because you have to be careful what you post because they might know the area you're in, how old you are, what your name is, who you're with. So yeah, you've got to be careful.
And you never know really who's kind of the other side of the computer, do you, I suppose?
No, you could search like one wrong thing in and it could just change everything. And if you upload one wrong picture, it could just like completely like ruin your future.
You actually use computers a lot at school, don't you?
Yeah, we use iPads as well, but they've got settings on them, like parental control, so we don't search up or get mistaken into something that's inappropriate or too old for us, so we can't look at bad things.
What about at home? I guess you must use computers and tablets and things like that.
Yeah, I have an iPad, a phone and an Xbox, and I use the Xbox a lot. I met a few friends on holiday and we kept in touch, so we're friends on Xbox, and in school I've got a couple of friends. And on my phone I'm on Instagram, but I'm private, so only my friends can see me. So I've only accepted my friends, so people I know, and a couple of friends or friends, because I don't want anyone I don't know following me because they could find out a bit too much about my personal life.
Do you use computers and tablets and things at school as well?
Yeah, well, we use it quite a lot for like looking up information. I also have Instagram, but I've got a private account. Like, I only let people follow me. I sometimes get friend requests from my sister's friends from her school, but if I don't know them, if I've never met them, I won't let them follow me.
So do you think that's really the advice, is to, you know, kind of only connect with people you know?
Yeah, because like sometimes your friends of friends could try and follow you, but if you've never met them and you don't know who they are, just deny it. Only let your friends who are close to you, like in the same school, or people who live in your area that you know, follow you, like, so you're with them, not with anyone else. So like another random person who's pretending to be maybe an 11-year-old who could actually be a 30-year-old man. So you've got to be careful with that.
Do you imagine a world without the internet?
Well, we'd have to look in books more. Without the internet, people would probably be more safe. But to be honest, I can't really say that because I use the internet a lot.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
So I'm at Walker's in Oakham for the launch of Caroline Webb's new book. So what's your book all about?
It's about people who have been to visit Verona, and this was set off because we were lucky enough to spend a year living in this beautiful North Italian city. And when we came home, I thought, well, why don't I see what people from the past have thought when they have come to this city? So, yeah, it's basically about people who visited Verona in the past and what they thought about the Italians, or the food, or the legend about Romeo and Juliet, and many, many other interesting topics.
So you've lived in Rutland for 50 years, and you were also the chairwoman of the Oakham Decorative and Fine Arts Society. So why is your book about Verona?
Well, because there are quite a lot of links. For instance, Verona has all sorts of architecture, beginning with the Romans and then going on through the Middle Ages and then going through further towards today. So there are quite a lot of links in connection with art and architecture. The other thing is, how did people view such matters in those days compared to how we view them when we go to the Decorative and Fine Arts Society and have lectures about art and architecture now? So there's a contrast.
So you lived over there as well?
Yes.
And how was it living over there?
It was great. It was really, really most enjoyable. It's a beautiful city. We were lucky to meet up with a group of Italians who took us under their wing. And so we had Italian friends and we were able to go to their houses, and it was a memorable year.
So where can we get your book then?
You can get the book at Walker's here in Oakham, and very likely, I should think, at Walker's in Stamford.
Perfect. Thank you very much for talking to me. Best of luck with
been
the
a
launch.
pleasure.
Rutland Radio.
People say, have you won today? And I'll say, everybody that finishes a winner, so off you go. And I run for health now. The races just let me know where I stand in terms of how fit I am and how healthy I am. So, yep, haven't missed a day since December 20th, 1964.
You've run every day since then?
Yep, every day. It's all recorded.
What about when you're lying in bed and, it's really cold and wet and you think, actually, I'll do it on a nice sunny day instead?
Well, I think I prefer to do it on a nice sunny day. If it's bad, I get wrapped up, I wear waterproofs, I wear a cap, gloves, tights, that kind of thing. Sometimes, like last Saturday it was, I just said, I don't know where to go today, I don't really feel like running. So what I did was what I call a wander run. I just went out and thought, well, I've never been down there before, I'll go around there. I've never been through there, I'll go through there. And it passed so quickly, and to my surprise, I'd done 7 miles when I got back. So various ways of motivating yourself, but the thing is you've got to make your mind up to get out there. And my regime now is to go out first thing in the morning. You finish there, nobody can take it away from you. So everybody can sit there with a smug smile on your face and have your breakfast.
Do you eat before?
No. I have a cup of coffee with honey and maybe have a half aspirin as well, because that's supposed to be good for your health, especially in old people.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
So, Grace, Alex has nominated you for the Valentine's special delivery. Was it a surprise?
Yes, definitely.
So we're at the Oakham Veterinary Hospital Equine Centre. So what do you actually do here?
I've started training to be an equine veterinary nurse.
You liking it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Good. So Alex has put a lovely message for you. He's said, Grace is the most caring and kind person I know. She has a heart of gold and I love her very much.
Oh, bless.
Which is really lovely. Do you have a message for Alex?
Just that I love him too. Oh, he's lovely.
Happy Valentine's Day.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
I was apparently about 500 records in it, and we did Top of the Pops, but they didn't actually broadcast it until after Christmas. In my heart, I was number one. I was number two. I mean, I was 55. It wasn't meant to happen in terms of the plan for, everybody's young. Everybody has to do The Voice or those TV programs. I came out of nowhere, and it was fantastic. It was a great surprise to me.
We're obviously looking forward to seeing you in Whissendine tonight. What a coup for Whissendine to have.
From my experience, the village halls are underused. That's one. Two, you can keep the ticket price to a minimum, so you're not paying anybody outside of hiring of the hall and the artist. We make enough. Everybody has a warm feeling by the end of the evening, and that's what I like.
So if people come along tonight, and I believe, I was speaking to Tracy earlier, she said, it's all gone very well on ticket sales, but she might be able to squeeze the odd person in just at the back. But if people do come along, what kind of music will they experience? You've got to play How Wonderful You Are, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of songs. A lot of them are known to the sort of YouTubers. You could say that a lot of my songs are popular, but they're just not registered as hits. It's singer-songwriter stuff. It's Jerry Rafferty's style, Elton John's style, but it's me. It was my voice. And I do the occasional cover, like Ain't No Sunshine, and Nature Boy's my favourite song of all time.
The George Benson song.
Yeah, it's groovy. In the 60s when I was a bass player, we used to use the word cool amongst the jazz musicians that I've always mixed with. And somehow the word has been adopted by everyone else. But really, what I do is very cool, in the old sense of the word.
Absolutely. And in the new sense, I'm sure, as well. Gordon Haskell, thank you for joining us on Rutland Radio today.
Thanks, Rob.
That's tonight, 7:30, Whissendine Village Hall. You can go and see Gordon Haskell for just £10.
Highlights from the past 7 days. The Rutland Radio podcast.
It's Rutland Radio breakfast time. I'm Rob Pisani. If I say to you the 23rd of April, I think you should say what you mean St George's Day, Rob. Not everyone does, but we do celebrate it here on Rutland Radio, and there's actually various societies of St George, including the Rutland Society, and one of those on the committee, John Hackett, joins us this morning. So you get together once a year and celebrate St George, John?
Yes, we do. It's in the evening. We have a dinner, a very nice 4-course dinner plus port, and it's like-minded people who are patriotic towards St George, and we have entertainment, so we sing community songs, patriotic and otherwise, and we have a series of readings, again both patriotic or humorous, and it fills the whole night, and we have a very good time, all in celebration of St George and England.
Now, you have an upper limit, don't you, of how many members there can be?
Yes, this will be our 39th year, and it's always been restricted to 200 members. Up till recently, we've always had a waiting list, but currently we do have a few vacancies.
So if people would like to join you, what can they expect? Is there sort of yearly membership, or is it just to cover the cost of the dinner?
That's all it is, really, just to cover the cost of the dinner. There's no membership fee as such. It's a question of getting in touch with our secretary, Mark Nichols, and it's paying for the charge that we require on the particular night.
So tell us about St George and the kind of things you've learnt over the years. The legend of St George goes back, several hundred years.
It does indeed. And of course he's patron saint not only of England but of certain other countries as well. Georgia, Malta and Gozo, Portugal, Romania, Aragon, Catalonia, and of course England as well. But he's been a patron saint for England, I think I'm right in saying, for well over 1,000 years. And we've just caught on the back of that. But I think my basic interest was born in the Cubs and Scouts, because obviously we learn a lot about the Union Jack and how the St George's flag is a composite part of that. And that's where my interest, I suppose, grew from little acorns, really.
Now, the Rutland Society of St George, as you say, it's a group of like-minded people that get together. You're not a pressure group in any way. It all focuses on the night of the 23rd of April, where you all come together and toast the great man and the great country.
We do, and of course there is another person that had a birthday and a death on that day, with William Shakespeare, so we do mention him from time to time as well.
So if people would like to actually find out a little bit more and maybe become a member, now we should say this is men only, and I asked you before our chat, any reason why?
And the quick answer is because it is.
Yes.
And I can't offer any better explanation than that.
If men would like to get involved with this, and I'm sure, if you're a woman, you could form your own society. There's no reason why not.
Well, our ladies, it's up to them, of course, but some of them get together and go on a dinner on the same night. So whereas we have a rather large gathering, they probably have a smaller gathering of a dozen people or so in some inn or hostelry somewhere. So they enjoy it as well.
Now, Mark Nichols' number is 01572 757 416 if you would like to find out more and become a member. And this is, as John says, a rare opportunity because of your upper limit on numbers. You actually, have got a few vacancies, to fill at the tables this year.
Yes, we have a president every year, a different one every year, and president this year, Charles Lawrence, came to see the 3 members of the committee, and we were suggesting ways to encourage people to join us and also to make people aware of St George's Day, because people say to me, well, when is St George's Day? And it's really easy. If you can think of 2, 3, 4, then you've got the 23rd of the 4th month. So no one's got any excuse to forget it.
And it happens once a year. There you go.
Indeed,
all
it does.
Sorted. John Hackett, thank you very much for joining us on Rutland Radio. And that's the Rutland Society of St George. Their upper limit of members of 200, and they actually have just a few vacancies this year if you'd like to become one of the men involved. 01572 757 416. Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
My name is Lindsay, and I'm the current pastor of the Congregational Church here in Oakham.
And tell us about the event today. Obviously, Tesco have kind of driven this and pulled the community together for this afternoon tea and bingo. This is very much a well-used facility in Oakham, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes, and it's with great thanks to Tesco's that they've put this on for us. They have, over the past few months, been using lots of great initiatives to help us raise funds which are much needed for the regeneration of the hall. They were looking initially into painting it for us, but we decided after having a closer look that far more work needed to be done structurally before we began painting. So Tesco's have still continued to support us and help us in just this way.
How old actually is this hall? Because I know, for instance, the market that's here on a Friday has been going for 50 years.
Yeah, I think it was built in the 1800s. There was an earlier church on the same site, and I believe from information received that the original Congregational Church was actually part of Oakham School. You can actually see parts of the walls that were there at that time, but this church on this site that we're standing in at the moment is from the 1800s.
So what can people do actually if they're listening at the moment and they want to obviously support the regeneration of the hall here?
They can come along to the drop-in centre on a Wednesday. They can join us for the coffee morning, which then goes into the meal. It's just £3. You get a lovely meal, meat, 2 veg, pudding, custard, and they can come and support us in the church services. 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. We're here and we're waiting for them.
So the coffee morning and the lunch, that's on a Wednesday, the normal sort of drop-in that happens?
That's right, yes. Every Wednesday, apart from the first Wednesday after Christmas. But every other week, we're here on a Wednesday. All ages, everybody's welcome, and just come and have a lovely time.
This is Rutland Radio.
I'm Louise Sampson. I'm Education and Awareness Manager for the Midlands and Central area for Teenage Cancer Trust. The Education and Awareness team within Teenage Cancer Trust work with schools to help raise awareness and understanding of cancer in young people. But this year we wanted to try and do something different, and we created an education film. But I want to take it one step further, and we're working with Stamford Senior Youth Theatre to create Who's There. They're using our film as a stimulus for their piece of work, and I know it's in safe hands, and we're very, very keen to see what they develop and explore, with the aim being of educating and raising awareness in young people of cancer.
Andrew Ather, and I play the role of Jack King.
Now, there you are kind of at the start of this, launching a stand-up routine, but it's so much deeper than that, isn't it?
Yeah, he wants to be a comedian, despite the fact he's not got the best material or performance or anything, and it's not quite working out.
Now, we've only seen a very short section, just 5 scenes tonight, of what's going to be performed in the summer.
Yeah, but those were kind of significant, as they set quite a lot up. They show who he is, this kind of foreshadowing of the character of cancer coming in, and they kind of the physical stuff that we did with it. We were quite proud of, the walking around, the secret scene where we just kind of showed who he is, how he's separated from other people, how cancer is influencing him.
My name is Claudia Davison, and I'm playing Cancer.
Crikey, that's quite a role, isn't it, really?
Yes, I'd say it's a good role, but that might come off a bit strange.
So, this was really a blank canvas for SSYT, really, to go with, to tell the story, to really get people talking about, the Teenage Cancer Trust and cancer generally.
Yeah, we started off doing workshops. We got all our information about non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and we just started messing around, seeing what we could create, because we didn't have a script. Our script came from little scenes that we did, little bits of improv, and we just picked the best bits that we liked to put it all in, and there's a scratch, yeah.
And how's it feeling so far? I mean, how long have you got until you actually put it properly on stage?
So we're doing 2 public performances in July, and we're performing to schools for 2 days as well, so that's really fun. Really excited about what people think, really excited about what people think of today about the scratch and how it's perceived, and if there's anything we can improve on. Yeah.
It's quite a responsibility, isn't it? Actually conveying what you've been conveying tonight.
Yeah, because we wanted to make it interesting and entertaining, but at the same time, the subject matter is it's cancer. That people live with this, people are diagnosed with this, and thankfully not so many people die from it now, but people do die from it. So it's approaching it in a way that's sensitive but whilst making it entertaining and informative and educational.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time. I'm Rob Pisani. With me this morning, Mark Palmer and also Martin Wolfie-Adams. We're talking darts. Darts on the radio is a bit of a challenge. It has been done before. Not that we'll talk too much about that. We'll talk about, really, the various things that are going on to help raise funds for Prostate Cancer UK. Well, welcome to Rutland Radio. Martin, this is your first time here. I know we've spoken a few times over the years.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, first time I'm coming into the studio, yeah.
So, tell us about your experiences of the charity first off. I mean, you've been directly affected by this, haven't you?
Well, yeah, the charity do some marvellous things. I mean, all the money that they raise goes into support of patients, it goes into research. I mean, one of the best things I've come across with Prostate Cancer UK is that they've got specialist nurses virtually available 24 hours a day. So if you feel you've got a problem, something you want to ask or whatever, you can phone the nurses any time of the day. And, you know, if they don't know, they're going to go and find out. It's a wonderful charity and it supports so many men through their prostate cancer and treatment.
Now, obviously, as a public figure, you've talked a little bit about it. The best thing for me was the fact that I saw you on TV when you were down at Lakeside saying you've got the all clear.
Yes, indeed. That was back in November. I was given, well, it's as good as an all clear. I did say to the doctor, is that an all clear? And she said, well, it's the best you're going to get. You know, with me, PSA was 0.1, so that's as good as they'll give you as an all clear. Get checked again in 6 months, so next visit will be in May, so hopefully the PSA is still the same and everything is good.
Now, Mark, you've known Wolfie for some time.
Yeah.
And you wanted to raise a load of money for prostate cancer to really help the charity that helped him.
Yeah, I was quite privileged. I was one of the first people that Martin told. And joys of having a newborn baby, you're up all hours of the morning. And I went and spoke to him. I had this random idea at like 4 o'clock in the morning about doing this dart tournament. And it was just going to be a little bit of fun just to raise a little bit of money. And it's gone from just being this local dart tournament to actually being sort of blown out of the water a little bit. But the people that have jumped on board to help out, like yourselves and the local businesses, it's been overwhelming. I mean, I've even been given laser eye treatment from a company in Peterborough. It's worth $3,500. And they said, if you get £1,000 for it, it's amazing, you know. But the biggest thing for me is when I said to Martin, I want to have a bit of fun because a lot of people, and Martin's been brilliant about this, they can let it eat them alive, you know, and it's not nice. The word cancer scares so many people, and it scared me when he told me. But you have to look at the brighter side of things, and Martin does, and I think he's told me before he appreciates actual life now more than he probably did before, and things are not so serious about other bits and pieces in life. So the plan was to have a bit of fun and raise awareness. That's the most important thing for me. And I've had a few people now, especially the older generation, that says, because you've been doing this, we have got checked. And if I don't raise any money, but one person says to me, I've been checked for this thing, and for a moment of discomfort or for a male pride, to be told that you're okay, surely that's better than anything else that you could ask for.
Well, I'm glad he didn't ring me at the time at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I rang you late morning once, and that wasn't good. But anyway, let's talk about the various events that are going on, because you do a lot of work with the Daniels, of course, and you've got Martin down there in mid-April.
I have Bank Holiday Monday, April the 17th. We're going to have Wolfie with a dartboard set up to play against people. They can put some money in a bucket for us. We'll have a few buckets walking around. It's the family day down at the Daniels that day, which would be nice. Hopefully the weather will be good and we can get loads of people out. So that's the first event.
And then you've got the events in May at Deeping.
Yeah, Wednesday the 3rd of May from 7:30 in the evening, we've got a dart tournament with the players from the Deeping Dart League. We've also been very lucky enough that another one of Martin's colleagues, Brian Doggy Dawson, is coming to play as well, because it was a bit unfair that one team would have got Martin and we didn't have someone for the other team. So we've begged, stolen, borrowed another professional player. That'll be a great laugh. I've got a DJ playing everybody's walk-on music. They've all had to have their own pick of walk-on music, and they've all got their own nicknames for their T-shirts. I've got the event sponsored by Landis Gear from Deeping. They've been absolutely brilliant in helping me with the money I needed. I've got a professional BDO referee in the shape of Mr. Ian Tilley. He's going to be calling the shots and make sure I behave, especially. It'll be a good night. There's lots of darts on show. Some of us are good, others are not so good, and then there's Martin.
Do you actually feel pressure when you're doing things like this?
When you're doing your tournaments, yeah, you do get a little bit nervous prior to your first game. But things like I've been doing exhibition nights for so many years now.
Yeah.
You don't get nervous doing those. So things like this, you know, you just get up and play. Even if you get the guy looks like he's going to win, chances are, if it's anything like trade shows, he's going to miss and give you another chance. Thank you very much. It's easy for me because I can just stand there and have a lot of fun with these guys. Throw some darts. Hopefully we'll have some good finishes.
Although Martin doesn't know who his doubles partner is yet.
Oh. and you're not saying, are you? I know you know by your look in your eyes.
I'm keeping very tight, and the players are not going to know until the evening who they're playing with or who they're playing against. What we did say was to make it fair that Martin and Brian would be paired in doubles against, I wouldn't say our worser players, but some players that might not do as well on their own.
Yeah.
So yes, Martin doesn't know who his double partner is, but I think it's quite funny.
So this is all on the 3rd of May, the Wednesday night, Deeping Rugby Club.
Yes.
So people can literally just turn up there, can they?
People can turn up. I've not set a price on the door. There are going to be buckets. I am going to ask people to make a donation to come in. And my favourite line at the minute is, the stuff that jingles is great, but if you can put stuff in that folds, that's even better. Literally a donation basis on the Wednesday night. We have got a hog roast that's being donated by Billy Burton of Deeping. I want a party atmosphere. So I want people cheering with the walk-on music. I've got a young lady doing photography for us, so I'm trying to get as much of a proper dart event atmosphere as I can at Deeping Rugby Club on the Wednesday night.
And then to do it all over again 48 hours later at Borderville.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like to do things small.
No.
I'm not a small man in my character, in my size. I like to go all out. So on the Friday, we've got a charity auction. My band are playing, because I have to be in the limelight. I'm the lead singer. So we're going to give you some covers music, and then we've got this charity auction going on. There is a possibility I may have a celebrity auctioneer if calendar dates work out right. But local businesses have been amazing. Even the smaller businesses, some of the beauty salons have given me like a 40-minute massage. It's gone right up to this laser eye treatment. We have an amazing custom-built electric guitar being made that's actually going to have one of Martin's darts set in the body of it. It's a brother duo based in Cottesmore, Market Overton,
right?
Called Granger Guitars. The bassist in my band is one of the brothers, and I've been sending Martin little pictures just to keep him enticed in this guitar, and they've actually carved a howling wolf's head into the back of this body of this guitar. It's going to be used by our lead guitarist in our first set, so people can hear it being played, because their work is exceptional, to be fair to them. Martin, we're going to get signed the back of it before it gets lacquered. Hopefully that might put the money up a little bit. I'm not sure yet. I don't know how much his signature's worth.
Lots.
Well, I'm hoping lots. Hoping lots. Like other little things, like Russell Kane, the comedian, I messaged him. I've got 2 tickets for someone to go to the Corby Cube, and he will meet and greet them. It is an entry fee of £5 on the door for everybody, no matter what your age. Martin will be there. I'm sure a lot of people will want to come up and have their picture taken with him, and even better if you put a beer in his hand. I've noticed in the past, if I need to talk to him, put a beer in his hand and you'll talk to him for half an hour. That's the way I get around him. The only other thing I wanted to say on the Friday night, the smart code is smart casual. So if people could dress up a little bit and have a good night, that's the be all and end of it. I want people to have a good time and share the event and let people know about it. And the more people I can get up there, the more money we will raise. But again, more importantly, the awareness, that the more people know about it. And I urge people to really just read up on prostate cancer, especially men. I think most affected are from the age of 40 onwards, really.
Can I give you just a couple of stats? Which
yeah, please do.
People may want to take on board. There's over 100 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer every day in the UK. The rate is 1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer or be diagnosed with it. But if you're black, it's 1 in 4. Oh, that's an awful statistic, that one. There's over 250,000 men living with prostate cancer as we speak. 42,000 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer every year in the UK, but unfortunately over 10,000 men will die of prostate cancer every year. Those are awful statistics. So the more we can get the awareness out there, and if the guys, you've got to bite the bullet, guys, go and get yourself checked, go and see your GP, ask for a PSA test. That's the key test that they use, is the PSA blood test. If you catch it early, it's treatable. It's if you don't catch it early and it actually gets outside of the prostate gland, if it gets in your bones, your time on this planet is limited. So get checked. Bite the bullet, guys.
And do support those events if you can. 17th of April, 3rd of May, 5th of May. We'll put all the details on the Rutland Radio website. Martin Wolfie-Adams and Mark Palmer, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Thank you very much for having us.
Pleasure, thank you.
Rutland Radio.
So it's a very special weekend in our Rutland as Rutland, Vermont comes to visit. It was all organised by the High Sheriff of our Rutland, Sarah Finesse. Well, welcome to Rutland Radio. This is your first time actually in the studio, isn't it? Even though we've spoken many times.
It is, yes. Great treat to be here.
And Stephen Bernard, thank you very much for joining us. Now, you're the Sheriff of Rutland, Vermont.
I am the Sheriff of Rutland County, Vermont, yes.
So you're the law enforcer over there, effectively?
Yes.
Sarah's position, obviously, is, a ceremonial position and enforcer of justice through the years, but you do that daily.
We do. I've got a department of 20 full-time people and 30 part-time people, and we do general law enforcement for contract towns, for certain towns.
So, Sarah, what was your thinking behind this, apart from, obviously, the names?
It would be lovely to build a link between the two Rutlands, and great for tourism, because I know Rutland in the USA is a wonderful place for skiing and walking and wildlife, and we have so much to offer here with wonderful food and lovely countryside and fantastic shops, and I think you're actually loving the history already, aren't you?
Yes.
But also I wanted to explore the difference in our roles, because Stephen is very much doing what, if I had been, there 400 years ago, I would have been doing. And so that's really nice. And at lunchtime, we're going to meet the Chief Constable and the Police and Crime Commissioner, Lord Bark, and talk about the differences and the problems of policing in the two areas. So that's very interesting too.
Now, Rutland, Vermont is very sparsely populated, slightly bigger than our Rutland.
It's the county's about 3 times the size, and Rutland, Vermont itself has about 13,000 people, but we've got 64,000 people in the whole county. But I was just commenting to Sarah when we were driving down the road, this part of England reminds me of the western part of my county. It's agriculture, it's fairly flat, and we're a very rural county, very rural.
Is this your first time in England?
It is, and it's so exciting to be in a place where things, instead of being hundreds of years old, are thousands of years old. We're still having difficulty grasping that, but it's amazing. It's an amazing place.
Now, Sarah, your plan is for Stephen to tour the towns, to get a flavour of our culture here, and actually, enjoy some of our hospitality as well.
Absolutely. We're going to visit Uppingham this afternoon. We're visiting Burley House this morning, and Miranda Rock is very kindly giving us a private tour, which is very nice, very great privilege. And then we're going on to Liddington. Then this evening, we're going to the Barnsdale Lodge Hotel, which is really nice. And Ed Burrows has very kindly arranged for us to have a dinner there so that you can taste Rutland water trout and all sorts of special things. And then tomorrow we're going to go to Belvoir Castle and meet the Duchess of Rutland, which I'm very much looking forward to, and she's giving us a private tour. And then we're going on to look at Rutland Water and walk along the Hambledon Peninsula, and we're going to the Finch's Arms, which will be lovely, and meeting Adam Lowe, the Mayor of Oakham, and we're going to have a tour in Oakham, and we're going to go and look at Oakham Castle, which, as you know, is 1180. It's the oldest and best Norman hall in the whole country, if not the world, and it's just had £2.1 million of heritage lottery money spent on it, so it's looking very beautiful, and it's very distinctive because it has these wonderful upside down horseshoes, which is the symbol of our Rutland. And then we're going to Hambledon Hall in the evening for a very special meal, thanks to Tim Hart. So that's very nice. And then the next day, we have our wonderful Rutland celebration at Peterborough Cathedral, which is really the real reason that I wanted you to come, because I wanted to have 2 sheriffs of Rutland, and there will be 7 other high sheriffs there as well from the surrounding areas. So it's very, very special, and I just hope that as many people as possible will come. There's cakes and fizz afterwards, so do come if you can.
And I know some of the local schools are involved as well. They'll be performing as part of it.
Yes, they are. I mean, I think we've got about 50 school children. They've all been practising a special hymn, and the Whissendine school children are going to present a wonderful large horseshoe that my husband has made to the altar. So, and then all the children will follow on and sing to us all. So looking forward to that.
Stephen, absolutely. And thank you so much for our gift here here at Rutland Radio. Right in time for Shrove Tuesday, you've presented us with some maple syrup from Rutland, Vermont.
That is one of the number one exports of Rutland County is maple syrup. I was telling Sarah that there's folks there that have upwards of 30,000 taps and trees. It's a huge operation in the state of Vermont.
Welcome to Rutland. I'm glad you've brought the weather with you. How was your landing? Did you come down yesterday?
When we were flying over Scotland, it was a little bumpy, and the landing was a little bumpy, but overall the flight was great.
Enjoy your weekend here in our Rutland, and thanks very much for coming over and talking to us today.
Thank you for having us here.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.